Imagine this. The temperature is minus 89 degrees Celsius. All you can see is ice, surrounded by a white death. Even breathing is a challenge because the air is so cold it could make your lungs shrink. And you're stuck here, in Antarctica, with no help, no network, and no guarantee of food. But the real question is, why would anyone even come here? Is Antarctica a tourist spot? An adventure park? No. Antarctica is a place where nature tries to kill you every single moment. And today's story is not just about one person, but an entire team, caught between science and survival. This is the story of people who didn't have any luxuries, only one thing: hope. The hope of making it through just one more night alive. And yes, watch this video till the very end, because there's a twist coming, a moment when this survival story turns into a psychological horror. The year was 1914. For most of the world, this year is remembered in history books for World War I. But there were some people who, far from the battlefield, were dreaming of setting foot on the icy chest of the South Pole. Sir Ernest Shackleton, remember this name, because later it became synonymous with impossible survival. His mission was called the Trans-Antarctic Expedition. Sounds pretty fancy, right? But in reality, it meant crossing Antarctica on foot. Now you might be thinking, seriously? Was he out of his mind? Just stay home with the heater on and sip coffee. Who goes for a walk in that kind of cold? And honestly, you wouldn't be wrong. But for Shackleton, this wasn't just about exploration. It was the ultimate test, to push the limits of human endurance. He even put out a job ad for his mission. Men wanted for hazardous journey. Low wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger. Safe return doubtful. Honor and recognition in case of success. Basically, he made it very clear. High chance of death. If you survive, you'll be a hero. Now think about it. These days, people ask if a job is work from home or not. And back then, people read this ad and got excited. Over 5,000 applications came in. And finally, a crew of 28 brave men was selected. Scientists, sailors, a carpenter, a photographer, and yes, even a cat, a permanent crew member to catch mice on board. Shackleton chose a ship called Endurance. The name says it all. Endurance wasn't some luxury cruise. It was a wooden ship specially built to cut through ice. But Antarctica's ice, it wasn't so innocent. December 5th, 1914, the ship departed from South Georgia Island, bidding farewell to the civilized world for the last time. After that, only ice and endless white silence. Shackleton and his crew believed, we'll cross Antarctica and prove that humans can overcome any limit. But what they didn't know was, you don't cross the ice consumes you. And that's exactly what happened. The date was January 18th, 1915. The Endurance had now almost reached the Weddell Sea of Antarctica. The ship was slowly cutting through the icy path, but suddenly, the ice all around revealed its true face. That same ice, which looked calm and white on the surface, was actually a living predator underneath. Shackleton realized, we're not moving. The ice is stopping us. Thick walls of ice had formed around the entire ship, and then began one of the most terrifying natural traps in history, something called ice pack entrapment. Now imagine this. The ship wasn't floating in the sea anymore. It was stuck in a frozen prison, and this prison was slowly closing in. Shackleton quickly made a bold decision. If we can't move the ship, we won't abandon it. We'll turn it into our home. And just like that, in the middle of ice, in minus 30 degrees Celsius, 28 men started living inside a wooden ship. No mobile phones, no internet, no GPS. They only had one thing: hope. They cleared space on the deck for their sled dogs, rationed food for the coming winter, and waited, hoping for a miracle. But no miracle came. The ice got harder, stronger, and then did the unthinkable. October 24th, 1915. The wooden beams of Endurance began to groan and crack loudly, as if some monster was crushing it from the inside. And then, the ground shook, the ship broke apart, and the ice swallowed it whole. In Shackleton's diary, he wrote, "The ship is gone. We are alone. Now the real struggle begins." Now, they had no shelter, no radio, and the scariest part, they were in a place not even marked on the map. Now the goal wasn't, how do we cross Antarctica? Now the only question was, how do we stay alive? In that white hell, they had just 3 lifeboats and a few cans of food. And right there, In the frozen wasteland, Shackleton made a decision, the most dangerous gamble, a decision that's still considered one of the bravest survival attempts in history. What was that decision? How did he conclude that to survive, they would have to venture into the ocean? That is where the real story begins. Shackleton didn't give up. He set up tents, kept his crew motivated, and built a floating ice camp right there in the middle of Antarctica. Now just imagine, every single day in minus 40 degrees Celsius, they had to set up tents again, melt ice just to get water, and constantly live in fear that the ice beneath them could crack open at any moment. The biggest threat? Hypothermia and frostbite. Men's fingers started turning black. If someone went out without gloves, they could literally lose a hand. It had become the literal meaning of finger food. Now pause for a moment. If you were in that crew, what would you do? Would you give up, cry, or silently wait to die? But Shackleton said, "We didn't come here to die. We're going home, alive." And so, he made a decision to take 5 other men with him in a small lifeboat and travel 800 miles across the most dangerous ocean on Earth to South Georgia Island. Why? Because that was the only place from where they could call for help. Now imagine, 7-meter-high waves, minus 20 degrees Celsius icy winds, and just a tiny wooden boat. This wasn't a boat ride. This was a race against death. After 14 days of brutal sailing, they finally reached South Georgia. But there was a twist. They had landed on the wrong side of the island, which meant they had to climb over deadly mountains without a map, without climbing gear, without help. This was no less than real-life Avengers. No iron suits, no magical hammers, just sheer willpower. Shackleton sent out a call for help, and 4 months later, he returned to Antarctica. And the real miracle? All 27 crew members were alive. No casualties, no one went mad, just one powerful message left behind. Never give up, even when the ice tries to bury you. Antarctica did everything it could to break them, but the strength of human will defeated even the deadliest cold. Today, Antarctica has research stations, advanced technology, heated shelters, and even satellite internet. But the danger, still the same. So what do we learn from this story? If Shackleton and his crew could survive Antarctica in 1914, without GPS, without radar, without weather forecasts, then why do we give up so easily in our everyday struggles? Next time life feels impossible, remember, someone survived eating seals at minus 50 degrees Celsius. If you found this story inspirational, don't forget to like the video and comment below. If you had the chance to spend one day in Antarctica, would you go?